Hello guys, and welcome to me being a little bit late. Like quite a lot late. It's beta 34. I think it's been a month and a bit since it came out. We're on like beta 34.3 by now, but yeah. I haven't done a showcase on it yet, so I thought it was really about time. So, what is beta 34? It is a huge update of, as you can probably tell, Near Harad. There are slight updates to Far Harad as well, and a couple of other small features that I want to talk about. Now, if we have a look at the map, that's the wrong button, isn't it? You can see Harad's changed quite a lot, so there's not a lot different with Far Harad at all. But if you go north, basically north of the Far Harad stuff, there's loads of new stuff. So we've got this massive desert in the middle, the fertile valley's gone, and basically the biome doesn't look trash anymore. We've got the Gulf of Harad, it looks better now. Umbar, we've got changes to Harondor and Hanador. Lost Laden's a biome. We've got the kind of Khan doesn't look as bad anymore. It's a huge update with 5 new sub-factions. The first thing we're going to do is have a look at each separate sub-faction. So here we're in the half deserts. So this is basically the people that live in Hanador and Harondor. So they're basically constantly fighting Gondor for control of Harondor, which is technically Gondorian. You know, the map says South Gondor. But anyway, so as you can see, they look really cool. Got some cool lines. Basically, they're saying, you know, we got to keep control over some of these border tribes. There's obviously some quests. And where the armor looks really cool. If I get my sword out, this isn't the right sword, but this is, I think, the right shield actually. No, it's not. But all the shields and weapons and armor looks really cool. I don't know why they keep getting hurt. I think there must be like a thistle on the floor somewhere that they're all standing on. Ignore those. Okay. But as you can see, the structures look really cool. I love these structures. So this is kind of the main big structure. It's a fortified village. Got some ruined buildings over there that we'll go visit. And we have a captain. So the Hanador warlord, and you can see all the troops they've got. So they've got a warrior, an archer, a horseman, a horse archer, and a banner bearer. As you'll notice, no more cavalry anymore. That's only for the nomads, which is slightly disappointing in my opinion, but I can see why they did it. But as you can see, there's even information for what banner bearers do now, and you're called Altair, aren't you? Okay. So if we leave the fortified village, we've got a couple of ruined structures that I spawned in. Obviously they don't normally spawn this close. Structures are pretty rare in this update. I haven't seen many of them naturally. Every structure we're going to look at, I've spawned. So this is, this was the village, and there appears to be, I think it's a bug with structure generation. That a lot of the villages only spawn the central building. I don't know if that's been fixed yet in one of the patches that have come out since I last checked it, but it's pretty bad because this is spawned Hanador village. Oh, hello. So these are Harad nomads, not the desert nomads, don't get them confused. But these guys are quite cool. They're basically like the merchant troops in a lot of ways. But this is one of the new biomes actually, the half deserts. And I think it looks really cool. I really love this biome. Just the right mix of kind of destruction and not. And then we've got Hanador up here, which is a much more lush biome, still on kind of dead soil though. And there's the road. Road I think something's changed with road generation this update. It appears to have not been as bad as some road generation I've seen. Because, you know, if you want to look at bad road generation, check out the official server series. Some of the roads on that are horrific. Like, just shearing off cliff faces, random pitfalls. It's genuinely horrific. I think that's because they keep, like, redoing certain areas, because, yeah, so the people of Hanador are the Harad nomads, it appears. These are Hanador warriors and stuff. Yeah, they've all got quests. Oh my god. Right, so we're gonna visit the next faction, which is I'm gonna leave my favourite till last. So we're gonna visit the nomads next, and we'll show off a new feature while we do it. While we're fast travelling, and you get to see the cool new interface for it. Basically, I think I'm going to do another survival series on this, like I did with the Easterlings for Beta 33. I'm going to try and do that for this as well, and get a Haradrim series going. But I want you guys to let me know what group do you want me to do, what sub-faction. I'll probably leave it as a poll later in the video. Once we've seen like the 5th faction, I'll put a poll in, so you guys can tell me which one's your favourite and which one you want me to play as. Because I'll do 2 separate polls for that, because, yeah. So this is actually, there are 2 main nomad structures. There's like the outpost and nomad market or something. It's not really important. The houses are very, very simple. They're just large tents, basically. Yeah. So, I think basically what you've got is an outpost and encampment. I think the outpost is a much larger one, in the encampment's this little set of buildings here. And then all of these ones are the encampment, which includes several larger structures. So they've got a well in the middle, obviously quite important if you're living in the desert. They've got a bazaar back here with a few traders. Looks like we got a blacksmith with some cool nomad armor. It looks really awesome. You can actually steal it, because this is a new thing as well. Oh, it's more wife hat. Yeah, so those are nomad. I think I'm wearing nomad leggings at the moment, if I have a look. Yeah, I am, because I decked myself out in the coolest looking armor they had. We got bird cages. We've got a miner, and he's selling some pretty cool stuff. And we've got a brewer, yeah. Also selling some fairly cool stuff. I mean, nothing that actually has like a benefit, but hey, it's pretty cool. We got a butterfly if you're a bit of a lepidopterologist. I totally said that wrong, didn't I? Lepidopterologist. I don't know. I don't really care. The sun is setting already. Got a couple more nomads. Got a really cool banner and a spear. So what else have they got? Got some camels laden up, and here we go. Here is the chieftain. He's got a cool cape. You got a nomad guard, a nomad archer, and you got the camelry, the camel man. Slightly disappointing that they're not called camelry anymore. And the cool banner bearer. I do plan to test out the strengths of all these factions, probably in a second video. If you'd like to see that, make sure to leave a like on the video and a comment down below, because I'm not doing a poll on that too. I'm not going to set a specific like or view target on this video, because YouTube just changed their algorithm. Well, YouTube changed their algorithm right before the last video I uploaded, my Ice and Fire new update showcase, and it completely broke that video for a while. But then the video recovered and got kind of... It's doing pretty well at the moment, so setting a target for a certain time is pretty inaccurate at the moment, because basically if people don't see it within like an hour, it gets pushed out to no one. So I don't want that to happen again. So I'm not going to set a specific like target, because normally I'd say like 6 views and 2 likes. But, you know, if the videos receive well, I'll make sure I put my back into it. If it's not, I'll just ignore it and pretend it never happened. So, I keep pressing the M button. So, the Nomads are a pretty kind of boring faction. They've basically got like 4 structures and like 2 people. They're alright. I don't dislike them, I just think they're not particularly interesting. The biome is basically flat desert. The only reason we got these hills is because I put them where we could easily see 2 biomes, the Great Desert and the Desert Hills. The Great Desert is basically a large flat space with occasional cacti and rocks, so it's not the best. So that leaves just 3 factions left, so we're going to check out the Coastlings next. So the Coastlings are what Near Harad was before the update. Basically, there are obviously some slight changes, mostly with speech banks, but they're the closest left. Also, fast travel is much faster than it was. It loads really quickly. Okay, so these are the Coastlings. So this is their fortified village thing. It's basically a lot like the structures we see in Gondor. Gondor have a very similar thing. They've got this cool fortress, a couple of pretty big gates. I love the look of the fortress. I love all of the architecture in this update. I think the Coastlings and the Gulf Haradrim are probably my favourite for architecture. Because Umbar's is a little bit boring in my opinion, and I don't really like the Nomads that much. So, here we go. As you can see, the Warlord's exactly the same as he was before the update. All these guys look like they did before the update, so if we just have a look. The only difference is their shield and weapons look slightly different. Their bow's exactly the same. Southron Champion is new though, and there's no Southron Horse Archer, which I think is quite interesting. While we're here, because we've basically seen most of the Coastling stuff before, there's a huge new feature which is modifier scrolls. I can't quite remember what they're called. If we look it up. Scrolls. Yeah. So, Smith's Scrolls. So, they're basically enchanting books for the mod's enchanting system, modifiers. You can get the scroll and it gives you the modifier trait you're looking for. Now, as we can see, the weather is lovely, so let's get rid of that. Fortunately, all the structures are pretty well lit up, which is problems the modders had before. Structures aren't very well lit up. So here's the big village, and you'll see a lot of this done with Umbar that's the same but in a different brick. I think this might actually be the town, I can't remember. But this big central building is something from Umbar. All these ones with the stained glass. I am a big fan of the coloured stained glass though, because I think we haven't ever seen it before in an actual structure, except maybe in Rivendell. So, this is actually a tavern, because everything that looks cool is a tavern. But it's a really cool structure. I really like it, and you can see it's got a very good interior as well. A lot of effort's been put into this that I'm just going to destroy for the purposes of efficiency. There we go. We've got a lot of the stained glass, so that's really cool. This is a really cool architectural feature as well. It's in the Gulf. A lot of the features are repeated, but that makes sense, as you know, they're all Haradrim. It's just sub-factions of. Yeah, that is something I just want to stress. These aren't separate factions. All 5 of them are parts of Near Harad. And as you can see, here we have a town. So this is the village, there's the town, so we'll pop in there in just a second. Also, this is the biggest village I've ever seen. But first off, there's just a little feature over here. Mercenary Moorwife. So basically, the Moorwife are the new name for the Moradane. And they're literally just, they'll sell you themselves. For a little bit of money. You don't need any alignment to do it whatsoever. But and they're the exact same price. So I think that should probably be fixed in that they're the same price as a normal troop. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're the same price of a normal troop if you have plus 10,000 alignments. So they might want to fix that because you know, if you make it more expensive, it kind of makes more sense. Like, do you spend more money or do you actually bother to get your alignment up? So as you can see, there are some really cool things. So we got a weird looking sphinx here. I'd stress on weird looking. I don't really know. It's almost an Egyptian. It's kind of a mix of Egyptian and Greek sphinx. It's not really either because the wings are very Greek sphinx looking. But anyway, we've got lots of big buildings here, including this central one, which is the marketplace. Yep, I actually got that right. That would have been very embarrassing if I didn't. Lots of different stalls. As you can see, some more coastling armor. It all looks really, really cool. I do really, really like it. I think that kind of sums up my opinion of the update. I really, really like it. Although I think the generic Minecraft music that is sort of ruining it a little bit. Can I have some cool Lord of the Rings music? No, I can't, because why would I be able to? We got stables. So Coastling Subron, pretty cool, but also a bit just Haradrim before the update. So, time to visit Umbar. In a place where we can see 3 different biomes. So, Umbar is of course the one that everyone except me was excited for. You know, because Corsairs are cool. So, as you can see, I really wasn't kidding. Generally, them and the coastlings have basically the same buildings. It's just they're built out of different stuff. So as you can tell, this is the same fortress as the coastlings have, which is mightily disappointing. Because Umbar is the most different of all the factions. That's why everyone was excited for it. Because they're black Numenorians rather than actually Haradrim, and that means they should be really different. Their troops are, as you can see, their troops are much more like Gondors in a lot of ways than they are Haradrim. Though again, no horse archers. Is that deliberate, or does someone forget to put horse archers in? Or is that a bug that's been fixed? So this is the fortified village. We got the town there and the village there, so let's go check out the town because there's more stuff over by the village. So yeah, this is basically a carbon copy of the Coast Subron town, painted a different colour. So there's not really much to show to you guys because we've seen all these houses. It's not even like Umbarians, they're literally Haradrim. There's no difference in the people at all. And I get that it was a bit rushed out, the door, and that they're all Haradrim, but seriously, Umbar is the most unique of all of them, and that is a cool house. And I think it is a bit disappointing that they're basically the same as the Subron Coast. But I do love the colours. The black Numenorian brick looks really, really cool. Next thing, we gotta fly over to the village, but past the village is some actual unique stuff. Because this is all Coast Subron identical. The layout of the village is a little bit different, as you can see. We got kind of a couple of central buildings, and it's again a very large village. And as it's the Lord of the Rings mod, it's a very laggy village. Because, God forbid, anything run well. So, there's a couple of structures here, the Corsair camp and the Corsair hideout, because who we were talking to before, they weren't Corsairs. So these are the Corsairs. Just wait a second. And their slave, they've got a slave in here, who is just hanging out, and you can't talk to because he's blocked by fence. Come on. Oh no, I hope the rain doesn't make me ill again. They have pretty terrible lives. The Corsairs are joyous as always. And yeah, they're literally slavers. They'll sell you Slave of Harad. Unfortunately, you can't hire Corsairs, which is really disappointing. I think having a Corsair army and raiding the coast of Gondor would be awesome. But I think we're going to have to do that with Umbar. Other thing is the Corsair hideout, which is also really cool and also completely fails to blend in. So they've got loads of silver and gold, got lots of coin. Yep, this is new, so you can see exactly how much coin is in each chest. Because obviously it's a bit confusing when you've got like 700 different types of coin. So this is your way up, and then you've got kind of a messy mountainside overhanging it. And from it is a slave. It looks really, really cool. I do really love this structure. And I think it's very unique, and that's what makes it cool. Because it's basically the only unique structure the Corsairs have. But one faction is very unique, and by far my favourite of the update has got to be the Gulf of Harad. Where'd I put it? Oh, I think I put it on the... Oh, there we go. Again, somewhere we can see the map, all the rest of the biomes. So, the Gulflings are by far my favourite because they're so different and unique. So unique doesn't work, but no one cares. They've got a lot more unique structures. And yeah, these weren't there with the structure. I was just showing these off. So these are new. There are a lot more rugs in the game now, so you can get a giraffe skin rug, lion and lioness skin rug, and 3 colours of bear skin rug. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, they're quite obsessed with skulls, but as you can see, the architecture and the structure is completely unique. And you've got the fences running around the fort instead of an actual wall. This guy's wearing an actual tiger skin cape. It's really awesome. And as you can see, we've got the Gulfling warriors. They look almost kind of like a half troll from like the way their face is covered up and stuff. They do have horse archers, but yeah, they're pretty generic warrior types, like everyone that isn't Mordor or Dol Guldur. Basically, anyone that isn't an orc. We've got the cool banners, the skulls. So this is a fort, as you can see. I'm gonna quickly, as always, you're still let down, Minecraft music. Let's just do that, so we can see what we're doing. There's the river, looks really cool. But this is the real selling point. So that's the fort. It's got its 4 towers around it, and yeah, this is the town. So this did generate, right? And it's got a load of really cool looking houses. I love the houses. Short and squat and flat. It's really cool. And the pyramid, the stepped, very Aztec looking pyramid is awesome. You can totally imagine them doing human sacrifice on top. And it's different enough from the Torafrim pyramids that we'll be having a look at later, that it really, you know, the Gulflings are different from the rest of the factions. They've got very much their own feel. And, oh boy, there is some pretty cool loot in these places. I mean, you know, most of the stuff I'm wearing is Gulfling, well actually the chest plate is. And, you know, the Kopesh and the shields that I'm using are all Gulfling because I think they look the coolest by miles. So as you can see, it's perhaps not the most inviting place, but hey, it looks pretty cool. And it's basically free loot, so it's, yeah. If you can get up here, and that's really not all that difficult to do. Unless you stick when you fall off 6 times. We got slight variations on the same building. It is slightly disappointing that they've basically got two buildings. Like, this one, and a slightly larger variation, which is the tavern or communal buildings. The gates, this is pretty cool. So this is actually the marketplace, locked off to one corner, and we got some gem spots, okay then. Literally locked off in one corner of the town. Got the baker, goldsmith. Okay, that's pretty cool, a goldsmith. I don't think any of the other factions have those. I think it's just the Goldflings, so it's really cool and unique. We've got a little blacksmith's garden here, it looks like. So there are variations on the same building, but the basic building is always the same. But the variation is enough so that one town doesn't feel bad. If you found multiple, it would start to feel a little bit boring, I think. We've got a pretty cool tower statue structure here with, like, looks like an elephant skull. Probably a Mumak. Or an Oliphant, rather. As you can see, this actually worked out pretty well because it's cut off pretty clearly by the river, and the walls have generated pretty well. Which is very different. Lord of the Rings mod walls generally don't do well with water. So over here we got a couple of other things. I think that's another mercenary Moorwife camp. I might be wrong. Nope, it's another mercenary Moorwife camp, so we've got two of them. Which is cool. They spawn in every biome in Near Harad. We got a couple of other structures as well that they have. We've got this weird ruined structure pyramid thing. I don't really know exactly what it's meant to be. It looks pretty cool, I guess, but it's kind of just there. It doesn't serve any purpose at all, except for bricks, basically. You know, cheap way to get them. We've got loads of biomes, don't we? One of these boulders, weird looking boulders, and yeah, from above, the villages really do kind of blend in to the trees because they look like a load of the canopies. So while the Goldflings don't have a ton of structures, they're by far my favourite faction. But it's not just factions, we got a couple of other things to visit. Including, if I can just find it. Basically, they've redone a load of the Torafrim structures to fit with the new Haradrim ones. So if we just pop over, yeah, I decided to pick the most terrible place to pick it. Yeah, this is new as well. There's a door for every kind of wood type. I think there's also, like, yeah, I think it's just a door. It might be trapdoor as well. But yeah. So these are all the doors. There's quite a lot of them. I personally really like the, not the pear door, the Leberfron door. I think it looks really cool. Just get rid of it. There are some other doors as well, like the beech door and the pine door that I really like, but I can't say I'm enamored of all of them. I think some of the doors, like the pear door for example, and this one, they could have been done a little bit better. So, new structures for the Torafrim. So the pyramid hasn't changed, this hasn't changed, but the houses have a little bit. The shaman's house, the tower hasn't, but the house has changed. This building here has changed quite a lot. So it's pretty cool. There are some changes. I love the plum door so much. To kind of modernise them a little bit. The Torafrim and the Moorwife are still a little bit disappointing. I really thought this update was going to address that somewhat, but it really hasn't. So I'm slightly disappointed about that, but it could be a lot worse. I think just redoing some of the much worse structures has made a big difference, so I am happy about that. Now, that's it for the update. Except for, there are a couple of things actually. So, we've got a similar restructuring of Dunland, Now, if only I could remember which place I'd put it at. I think it might have been this one. I don't know. I put all the news. Oh dear. Yeah, the Torafrim are being slaughtered by the half trolls. Yeah, basically what happened lore-wise. So. So the aim, basically, they've modernized these two factions who were kind of sitting a little bit back and not doing particularly amazingly. I think personally the Torafrim and the wife, I don't like at all. This is great. Wouldn't be the Lord of the Rings mod without optimization failures and bugs. Yeah, looks like I picked the wrong waypoint as well. Ain't this professional? Let's guess Furwald then, right? Okay, game might be dead. So I'm sure this will fix it. No, game's dead. Okay, so oh no, there we go. So we've actually got one of the restructured buildings right here, because there were only like 2 of them that actually got restructured, and they're not huge changes. It's actually pretty hard to notice, but there have been slight changes to the structures of these buildings. I'm sure people that actually like play Dunland on like a server or something probably can really easily tell the difference here. I've never been to Dunland before, except I think once on the official server. I didn't like it much, so I left. But yeah, I think this is different. I think the tavern's different as well. But yeah, that's it for Beta 34. So, I plan to do a second part to this update showcase, where basically we launch a load of Near Harad at Gondor, and basically see who's most effective for coinage spent. So I'm gonna get like, I don't know, 1,000 coins or so, throw it at Gondor and see exactly how well it goes. So if you want to see that, leave a like and a comment. I'll make sure you voted in the poll, which I'll make sure to put in and have to remind myself about 6 times to do, and yeah, lost train of thought. Anyway, so thank you for checking out Beta 34 with me, and that's it. Goodbye.